from the industry. We have gold sponsors, silver sponsors. We will acknowledge you, I think, appropriately. And we have our platinum sponsors who I should point out. We have Ketraco, and we have Kenya Power and Lighting Company who are present with us today. And I believe our chairman will also further recognize that. And let me not forget, we have very good support through the World Bank as well. And we're working with them on a number of programs to build the capacity of engineers in this country. We have also with us contractors, academia, consulting engineers, county governments are very well represented here, and various national government agencies. Let me also thank our Principal Secretary so much for the guidance and support that he continues to give to us, and our Cabinet Secretary, who I think were instrumental in getting you here today. So, Your Excellency, we are very happy. Now, as I finally conclude, the African Child Day will be held in 2 days' time, on the 16th of June. And this is just to raise the need for awareness on the need for quality education for the African child. And engineers here today, I would like to say, are a clear demonstration, Your Excellency, of that commitment to build within our country this asset of qualified engineers, experts, who would be able to support and deliver on the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. So we commit to play our part, all of us as engineers, and we are going to support the government agenda to transform the lives of ordinary citizens. I thank you, Your Excellency. I thank you, and I thank you for coming today. So with that, it is really, let me say this as I end, it is such an honor for you to grace this occasion, and it is also very, very inspiring to the engineering fraternity. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much. Next, I would like, Your Excellency, with your permission, to call Engineer Eric Ohaga, President, Institution of Engineers of Kenya. Karibu.
Thank you so much. Our chief guest, Your Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto. I think this day in the engineering fraternity since the birth of this country, I want to say from the onset that from the engineering fraternity we are very happy. We have never witnessed a sitting president attend any of our engineering functions. This is from the bottom of my heart as the president of the Institution of Engineers of Kenya to really appreciate this gesture. Cabinet Secretary present here of Roads and Transport, Onespas Kipchumba Murkomen, our Principal Secretary, State Department of Roads, Engineer Joseph Mbugwa. We have Engineer Tanui, our Principal Secretary in charge of ICT and Superhighway. Members of the board of EBK, the chairman of the board of EBK, registrar, the presidents of the institution of professional body of other countries, special guests, of course, our stakeholders who are present here. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to join this event organized by the Engineers Board of Kenya, who we collaborate on a day-to-day basis. Of course, the Institution of Engineers of Kenya is a learned society of engineering profession that cooperates with national and international bodies to provide solutions to humanity problems. IEK has over 12,000 members, of course, drawn from the industry that serve both the national government and the county government. The theme of this three-day convention, transforming Kenya economy, and we are looking at the role of the engineer. Of course, places a significant challenge to the contribution of the role of the engineering in the transformation of the economic agenda of our nation, Kenya. As engineering fraternity, we are alive to the fact that we are expected to work with and support the government in its agenda and in the realization of the transformation of this economy. Our role cannot be overemphasized, and I call upon my colleagues who are listening to me, over the 3,000 colleagues, to rally behind the initiatives that the government has put in place, and in addition, to play such innovative role in driving the agenda. Your Excellency, allow me to say that the growth of any country's economy is hinged upon the engineer and the engineering services, which put into existence the infrastructure on which the economy thrives. We are talking about the manufacturing, the education, which is academia, the banking, the finance, delivery of government services, tourism, agriculture, horticulture. These cannot thrive without the existence of a well-established infrastructure, and some of this infrastructure include the road networks, the transport systems, energy systems, telecommunication systems, housing, biomedical, and manufacturing. Engineering continues, of course, to be the heart and the soul of all organizations. This three-day engineering partnership convention provides us with an opportunity to retrospect, to challenge, to critique, and to ask ourselves the role as engineers we need to play in transforming the economy of this country. The Kenyan government has imported vision and mission in the areas of agriculture, food security, MSMEs development, the housing agenda, the healthcare, the digital superhighway, and of course the creative economy. With this expected growth, the country requires workers with a vision, passion to transform the vision into action, and the courage to think differently, and the energy to combat the problems. I wish to reiterate to you, Your Excellency, that the engineers are best placed to be at the forefront of delivering your mandate to the citizens of this country. Our event themes of our contribution to the economic development in this country, and we are seized of the fact that your government is committed to investing 250 billion in the next 5 years to boost agriculture and food security, providing 50 billion annually on MSEMC, building 250,000 affordable houses, building 100 dams, and of course the construction of 100,000 kilometers of fiber superhighway. As we embark on achieving these aspirations of the new dawn of this country, we as engineers are fully aware of the heavy responsibility placed on us to design facilities that are safe, that are climate resilient, that are reliable to promote the well-being of our citizens. We call upon, for mutual benefits of course, to have contributed to the expertise that are required to deliver on this mandate. As the President of the Institution of Kenya, I also look at the welfare of our engineers. And Your Excellency, sir, as we talk currently, this country lacks about 2,500 additional engineers that are required to be able to deliver on this particular mandate, both at the national level and at the county level. And this will be able to ensure that the infrastructure that is put in place is able to stand the times as we move. Further, for us to be able to implement the better program, we are asking that where short-term assignments of contracts that do not economically require foreign involvement, that we have competent engineers in this country, competent engineering consulting firms in this country that are able to perform this function to the best knowledge that we know how. And therefore we are saying there's no need of importing welders, there's no need of importing technicians, there's no need of importing engineers from other countries, because we have local-made engineers in this country that will be able to deliver on the mandate of this government. Finally, I also want to applaud the government effort in ensuring that we are resilient to climate change. And we know that energy contributes about 65% of the greenhouse emission gases. And we are also honored to state that as we speak currently, this country has 92% of clean energy that we are generating. And moving to 2030, the government is actually committed to ensure that we have 100% of clean energy. And we want to really appreciate that fact, that even as we replace the thermal energy that contributes to the high cost of energy in this country, the plans that the government has even to introduce nuclear energy will go a long way in ensuring that we have stability, we have reliability at cost-reflective price. Finally, I wish to address the industrialization, of course, the last-mile infrastructure, the use of local content and manufacturing, and engineers' support on making each county a center of industrial development that provides all the local products for large-scale products. And we are committing that engineers will be able to come up with innovative ideas that will be able to reduce the cost of materials so that then we can be able to develop this country forward. Your Excellency, I wish to propose to you that as a way forward, as the Institution of Engineers of Kenya, to incorporate a small team of engineers emanating from the Institution of Engineers of Kenya and your team in coming up with an implementation plan that will enable this country to fast-track some of this development agenda that we are alive to in the next 5 years. I wish to conclude by thanking you once again for honoring our invitation, and I'm looking forward to meeting you in State House so that we can advance this discussion further as well. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. As you're aware, Institution of Engineers of Kenya also collaborate with other international bodies. We are a member of the East African Federation of Engineering Organization. We are also a member of the Federation of African Engineering Organization, and also a member of the World Federation of Engineering Organization. And I want to bring to your attention, Your Excellency, that the current president-elect of the World Federation of Engineering Organization is an African, a Nigerian, one of our very own. And I want to take this opportunity to welcome one engineer, Mustafa Shehu, who will be joining us online all the way from Taiwan to make his comment. Thank you so much, and welcome, Engineer Shehu.
Thank you very much, Engineer. The President, Engineering Institute. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Ruto, the Chairman, Engineers Board of Kenya, Erastus Mongero, the board members of the Engineers Board of Kenya, Cabinet Ministers, Principal Secretaries, fellows and members of the Institution of Engineers Kenya, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Let me start by thanking the Chairman, EBK, Engineer Erastus Mongera, for inviting me to participate at this important 4th Engineering Partnership Convention taking place in Naivasha, Nakuru County. Intention to actually be there physically in Kenya to witness this particular convention, because in the last 10 years I have been actively participating in IEK conferences every year in Kenya. And that is why when I come to Kenya, I don't feel like I'm in another country. I feel it's just another extension of Nigeria. I feel very homely whenever I come to Kenya. So a program we are having here in Taichung in Taiwan, that has made it and that explains the reason. I'm also at the convention honored by the President of His Excellency, President of Kenya, Dr. William Ruto, which is indicating clearly that you have the intention for the engineers in order to deliver on your manifesto, which is centered on infrastructural development of Kenya. Let me also use this opportunity to congratulate you on your election victory, and also on your successful taking over the mantle of leadership of the Republic of Kenya. For us in Nigeria, we view Kenya very closely, being one of our sister countries, and we have so many things in common with Kenya. So personally, I have been following with keen interest your exemplary leadership style in trying to make Kenya and the African continent take their appropriate place socially and economically. In this respect, I congratulate you for the promotion of fair trading within the African continent through the World Trade Organization and the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, as well as the bottom-up economic transformation agenda on food security, housing, and other infrastructural development, which the President making Africa great, and by extension, the Republic of Kenya, for the good of Kenyans and Africans in general. As a president-elect of the World Federation of Engineering Organizations, it will be appropriate for me to say a little about the Federation, which is a global body of engineers founded in 1968 under the auspices of UNESCO, with secretariat located at the UNESCO headquarters in Paris. It is a non-governmental and non-profit organization with its membership comprising over 100 countries, representing over 30 million engineers globally. It is recognized at UNESCO as a strategic partner with associates to organize the UNESCO World Engineering Day for Sustainable Development on 4th of March of each year. WFEO is a member of the United Nations Economic and Social Council, ECOSOC. It's the United Nations Science and Technology Major Group. The role and responsibility of engineers in addressing the challenges facing society is more recognized and acknowledged worldwide. Through its activities, WFEO engages with governments. And when we say government, we mean governments at national, continental, and global level, policymakers and United Nations leadership to present the engineering perspective on issues affecting the global community. It will be of interest that Kenyan engineers and African engineers in general are participating very actively in the affairs of the World Federation of Engineering Organizations and other global engineering organizations, especially in the last 12 years. As at now, we have at the World Federation of Engineering Organization 6 out of the 26 member executive council membership of the WFEO from Africa, and that includes a Kenyan in the person of Engineer Nathaniel Matalanga, who is very much with me here in Taichung, Taiwan. Also, for the first time in history of WFEO, as mentioned by the IEK President, Engineer Eric Ohaga, we are going to have from Sub-Saharan Africa, World Federation will take over in October 2023 this year. And it will be, let me use this opportunity to invite Your Excellency for this very important occasion, which will take place in Prague, the Czech Republic. And of course, the cabinet ministers in Kenya are also very much invited. So on this, let me put this responsibility on the IEK President and the Chairman, Engineers Board of Kenya, to make sure that a lot of our members from the engineering community in Kenya participate at the forthcoming World Engineers Convention taking place in Prague, Czech Republic. This could only be achieved through a lot of hard work and cooperation between in the last couple of years. This also serves as a pointer to our countries that as we are trusted at the global level, it goes without saying that we should also be trusted at our home country level of technical and leadership responsibility. Besides having a leadership position in World Federation of Engineering Organizations, our African engineers also have a leadership position in World Council of Civil Engineers. My brother here, Engineer Matalanga, is the treasurer of the World Council in the World Council of Civil Engineers, which means he's an executive council member of that global civil engineering organization. Another milestone which the engineering institutions in Africa are achieving is regarding the ability of the engineers' qualification to be accepted in other parts of the world, which is done only through the registration with International Engineering Alliance to become signatories to Washington Accord. So far, Kenya, Mauritius, Rwanda, and Zambia have started the process. It is gladdening to note that, or rather to inform this gathering that just this morning, Nigeria has been admitted into the membership of the International Engineering Alliance to have provisional signatory status of the Washington Accord. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is sad, but Africa is the most underdeveloped continent with huge infrastructure deficit and lags behind in all human development indices. While this may look disturbing, our leadership should see this as an opportunity to develop the capacities of our engineering personnel to be used. This can be done through deliberate policies of
We apologize for the internet connection, but allow us to swiftly move on. I'm sure we've got the gist of it. Your Excellency, with your permission, allow me to now invite Erastus Mongera, Chairperson, Engineering Board of Kenya. Tumpigie makofi akija tafadhali. Welcome.
Your Excellency, Honorable Dr. William Samoei Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya and the Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, the Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen, Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Roads and Transport, Your Excellency, the Governor of Nakuru, Honorable Susan Kihika, the Honorable Tabitha Karanja, Senator of Nakuru County, Principal Secretary for State Department of Roads, Engineer Joseph Mbogwa, and all the other PSs present, honorable members of Parliament present, board members of MBK, council members of the Institution of Engineers, the President of the East Africa Engineering Organization, Engineer Collins Juma, our guests from the African continent and Asia continent, all protocols observed, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, before I make very, very few remarks, allow me to recognize our guests who are present today. We have a very big delegation from our sister country, Tanzania, led by the chairman of the Engineers Registration Board and the president of the Institution of Engineers of Tanzania. If you can be upstanding, please. Let's appreciate them. We have a delegation from all the way from Malaysia, the Board of Engineers of Malaysia. Your Excellency, this delegation is very special to us in Kenya, because they are our official mentors towards acceding to this Washington Accord. And we have Professor Engineer Assis in that delegation. We have a delegation from South Sudan, if you can be upstanding. Delegation from Uganda, if you can be upstanding. Delegation from Nigeria, if you can be upstanding, and we congratulate you on acceding to the Washington Accord. Your Excellency, let me also recognize members of the board of the Institution of Engineers of Kenya, if you can be upstanding, board members. Thank you very much. Let me also recognize the Council of the Institution of Engineers of Kenya, if you can be upstanding. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the Board of Engineers of Kenya is honored and extremely delighted that you could join us today for the 4th Engineering Partnership. Your Excellency, if we sound repetitive, it's because of the excitement in our hearts. Since the independence of this country, you are the first president of our republic to meet an engineering gathering and address us. Your Excellency, we feel very, very honored, and anything you would have loved to tell us engineers, we are all here. From the senior-most to our interns who we are training. We have the Graduate Engineers Internship Program. It's a 3-year program for fresh graduate engineers. It is mirrored, Your Excellency, very much on the model of PSC, but we extend this to 3 years because the Engineers Act demands that they go through training for 3 years. We have under 3 cohorts, and today we have the 4th cohort. In the first 3, we recruited 100 because of financial restraints. This year, we have 120. We thank you, Your Excellency, for the budget.